do. Do 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 do. Bow 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 bow. Bow 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 bow. Bow 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 bow. Zippity doo dah, zippity a. My oh my. What a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Zippity doo dah, zippity a. Do 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 do. Bow bow bow. Bow to be bow 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 be bow bow. Down 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 down. Hello and welcome to Newsflash Disney. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're doing well. I was just checking the weather. It is raining right now. It was storming a little earlier, stormed this afternoon, and then it was storming a little while ago as well. So it looks like as of about 5 minutes ago, we were kind of getting out of the heavy weather. It's kind of moving off. So I shouldn't have trouble, but if the signal does anything wacky, it's probably due to the weather. But right now it looks like it's clearing out. Oops. Okay. So anyway, oops, it says I'm live, but there I am. I'm going to keep that over here. Hey Brian, welcome in. I hope you're having a great evening. I know you're a few hours behind me, so it's Anyway, tonight I have got some news items from Disney World. One item actually pertains to Disneyland that I thought was interesting. So I'll be talking about that here. I've got about, okay, I've actually got 15 different news items. And that one actually might be true. Let's leave that up there. I actually ate yesterday. I found in the fridge, I forgot that I had put 2 packs of turkey legs from the store, just like from the meat department. They were still in the the packaging. I had to cook them. So I found them yesterday, and there were 4 of them. So I had 2 yesterday, and I had 2 today. So there are a total of 2 legless turkeys. If the packaging comes out right. But anyway, so there are, yes, I have had 4 turkey legs in the last 2 days. And I actually have another turkey leg. It's a smoked turkey leg that I got from Walmart. So I have another turkey leg to have later this week. But anyway, we are here to talk a little bit about what's been going on in Disney. Now, I haven't been live for the last, well, it's been 3 weeks since I've gone live. And so a little bit more has happened than what I'm going to talk about. But I have an announcement towards the end of the stream that pertaining to the frequency of this show. But so let's go over these news items. The first item is pertaining to Splash Mountain. A Splash Mountain log, this is in Magic Kingdom, has sunk for the third time in attraction history. This happened back on, well, the article was back on July the 12th. And it was the third time that this happened. The first time happened in August of 2020, and then the second time just happened in April. Hey, Tina. Well, welcome in and hello to you and Chuck and the dogs, the barking dogs. Welcome in. So, yeah. So the Splash Mountain log, has sunk. I wasn't clear from the article what the reason was, but I thought that was very interesting. I hope that they find out what happened and fix it before they do maybe while they're doing their theme switch, that they're going to be retheming it to Tiana. Did I talk about that already? Seems like I talked about that the last time. Hey, Carol. Anyway, that was announced a while back. I feel like I talked about that. The name was announced for, yes, I talked about that last time. Tiana's Bayou Adventure coming to Disneyland and Magic Kingdom. The new ride is announced to be talked about in late 2024. All right. So Brian will appreciate this article. Maybe this item. The second item tonight is there's a rumor. There's been a rumor that People Mover will return to Disneyland as part of their Tomorrowland overhaul. They are set to kind of do a whole overhaul of their Tomorrowland, which is exciting. Anytime a park decides to do, kind of redo the whole area, it's always exciting to think about what they're going to do to it. So the original People Mover, and this is in Disneyland, closed in 1995. It was replaced by Rocket Rods, which closed very soon after it opened. And then this article says that the new version will use a new ride system, not the magnets system that Disney World uses, or the tires, the wheels and tires that was used before. And the new track will also be shorter. So that's kind of the basic, details as a part of that rumor. So it'll be interesting to see if that returns to Disneyland. Yes, Carol, I do agree. It would be great if that could come back. Since they're overhauling it anyway, I think that there were probably a lot of people that just were not a fan of that going away when it closed. And so, at least they had it here in Florida. They could come over and visit, Florida and ride it in, in the Magic Kingdom. Hi, Don. Gobbletastic greetings. So yeah, hopefully that will happen. Another thing that has happened has gone away. The iconic Tower of Terror billboard has been removed. This was on one of the main roads going into Disney. The Tower of Terror sign. It had a moving elevator car on it that actually stopped moving at one point, and it was repaired in 2021 after the elevator had been stationary, and then during the last month, July, it actually they fairly quickly announced that it was going to be removed, and then they removed it. So very interesting. There were I've seen some comments about people worrying that the Tower of Terror, that could be a clue that Tower of Terror is going away. That's not. I forget who talked about it. It was either Mickey Views, Braden at Mickey Views, or Jack at DSNY Newscast, talking about the likelihood that means Tower of Terror is going away. It's not, according to them, it's not likely, and just because they removed that sign, it was more just because the whatever mechanics were inside of the sign, I guess they decided to move it. So yeah, Tina, I think that was Braden. I watched. So yeah, Mickey Views, Braden, and Jack from DSNY Newscast. They do regular update videos on the things happening around Walt Disney World, and I really respect them for when they have opinions, but they are good sources of news and analyzing and kind of thinking about what's going on and what could happen, what might not happen, what they don't think's happen. Obviously, they're not within the company, but they do have sources, and they do have they're very they have good perspectives on everything that's going on. So the next item 4, could go on for minutes, probably a whole show if you wanted to, but during last month, Epcot's Food and Wine Festival 2022 Food and Wine Festival got kicked off. Lots of entertainment, food offerings, merchandise. I won't go into it all. There's just so much to talk about. Other channels have probably talked about it, but one item that I thought was very, it's a testament to the way things are as far as supply issues right now. But it kind of is. Anyway, let me tell you, and let me tell you what happened. So, right as the Food and Wine Festival is launching this past month, the Flower and Garden Mickey Topiary Plush has arrived, and has arrived late at the port of entry. at Epcot, which I like because Flower and Garden is my favorite festival. Food and wine is enjoyable, but I really like the food and wine. I mean the Flower and Garden festival, and so the Mickey Topiary plush is there at Epcot, just in time for the food and wine. So that's a kind of an interesting piece of information. And that's happened before, actually. I think a merchandise item arriving late. Yeah. And there's a whole lot of food and wine merchandise. There's I love that there's a lot of Figment merch. I have said many times in different places that Figment is underappreciated, is underused. One thing that that Jack on DSNY Newscast said on the video that I watched is that he feels like there's a decent chance that there may be an announcement regarding the future of the Imagination ride coming when D23 happens later this month. I forgot to change my calendar, so I'm still on July. So I keep looking at it and it says July, but I have to remember that we're in August now. So anyway, yeah, I think D23 is supposed to be later this month. Did I write that down? I believe so. I think so. Anyway, part of food and wine. This is actually item 6, but I'm going to talk about it 5th. The beacons of magic on the Epcot space light, the spaceship Earth lights, beacons of magic. Excuse me, the Beacons of Magic show debuted its Be Our Guest, and I have loved every single one of the Spaceship Earth light segments that have come out. I love that they put the lights on Spaceship Earth. I don't know why it took them so long, but I'm glad they did. Okay, here's when it started. The festival started on the 14th, July the 14th. All right, so back to the 5th item, or which I'm talking about, the 6th item. So it's the 6th item tonight. There is a permit filed for the Play Pavilion, which gives a hint of a possible opening time frame at Epcot. There is this was announced. It was announced in 2019 that the Play Pavilion will replace the Wonders of Life, and the permit description reads General Contractor Package. Now the expiration date on the permit is December 31st of 2024, which according to the article means that it could be done and open in 2025, or that it could open before then. And Disney's just being they're just being careful with their time frame. So that gives kind of a time frame for when the Play Pavilion might open. So it's still a ways out. I hope they do end up finishing that pavilion, because that looked like it was a lot of fun offering for guests, for kids, for families. All right. We're going to stay in Epcot. This is a fun update. Y'all are going to laugh, but this is another entertainment offering that is returning to Epcot. Okay, Carol. Atlas Fusion. Atlas Fusion is the Moroccan music and belly dancing act. Is returning to Epcot in time for the Food and Wine Festival. It features music, moves. As part of the show, the dancer actually steps off the stage and comes into the audience and teaches them some moves. I remember walking through Morocco and seeing the dancer number of years ago. So that's a interesting update, a fun update, excuse me. So the next item, there was an article that I didn't finish looking up because I didn't want it to be inflammatory. There was an article, I didn't look at it close enough, but that headline talked about Bob Iger saying that Bob Chapek was like his biggest regret or something. But anyway, I think we're all regretting that star. Although, I'm trying to cut in my mind. I'm trying to cut Chapek some little bit of slack in some areas. He's still. I won't. Yeah. He's. I could go into that more, but I think in some ways, maybe Chapek will redeem himself in the coming few years. But anyway, I didn't read the rest of that article. Next up there is a Mickey and Friends Plushes that have been released by Coach, which is a company. There's 4 new leather Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Donald plushes that have been released. They are available at the Art of Disney in Disney Springs. And if you want one, it'll only cost you $600. So I thought that was it's one of those things. I don't think they're going to sell many of $600. If you want all 4, it's going to cost you, what's that? $2,400. I don't think they're gonna. It's kind of like the that shop on Main Street on the Magic Kingdom that has the glass the glass castle that's like 36,000 or whatever. Like, who's gonna buy it? I don't know. It is crazy. Tina, it is crazy. Oh my gosh. So there's 2 different articles here. I posted something on Instagram. I think it was last week. There's been all these articles about fights breaking out in Disney. People fighting, getting into ruckuses. This got me feeling like, you just kind of roll your eyes, and like, why are people, behaving like that in Disney? But then there's a part of me that's kind of like, Animal from Muppet, fight. So I posted that. It's on my Instagram. I did it, last week. Anyway, here's the stories. Here's some basic details about these 2 stories. The first story involves a brawl that broke out near Peter Pan's flight in the Magic Kingdom. it was actually two families, two groups of people. Um, um, there weren't really any details about what actually caused the fights, but as a result, some of these people have been banned, some of these people have been arrested, and I'm guessing probably subsequently banned also from Disney. Um, then, um, then another screaming fight between two families that almost turned physical happened at the Transportation Ticket Center. And cast members did intervene here. I think cast members intervened in the other one too. But hey Richard, welcome in. But anyway, that got diffused. I don't remember if I would have wrote down here, I think, but I don't know if any law enforcement actually had to intervene here. But oof, yeah, people being rude and childish, and I think also it's I think it has to do with partially the effects of the heat. I think also, people that are coming here that are, maybe even though they're coming to Disney, maybe they're just reacting to, some of the things that I, hear people in, I hear on the live streams talking about, long wait times, prices. Or Carol says here, people seeking fame. Yeah, they could be, looking to, get their 15 minutes worth. But I think the heat. Actually, I was out at Disney Springs on Sunday. I actually met up with Dawn, the Hitchhiking Bones, and her husband Jeff, and also Russ. What in the World with Russ. We had a nice meal, and then we shopped a little bit around Disney Springs, and it was a good time. But the heat, oh my goodness. And it was like you're out there for not even a minute, and you're it's just you're baking to a it's just terrible. And these are groups of people traveling with family, kids. But anyway, the next item, I'm not going to get into a lot. I didn't write out all of the details, but this has been a huge item last week. Huge. Disney released the Magic Band Plus on the 27th, which was last Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, almost a week ago. So the Magic Band Plus is looks like the regular Magic Band, but it looks a little bigger. There's lights on it. The difference between this is it costs a little more, and it requires that you charge it, and it has to be paired to your device. And the main purpose of the Magic Band is that it helps you engage interactively with the park and with your visit in the park. For example, there's a quest, a Disney Fab 50 quest, where you go to those, those golden statues that they put up for the 50th. You apparently, according to the videos, you walk up with your Magic Band, you wave. The statue says something to you, whatever it says to you. And then, it pairs with I guess it's either the My Disney experience or the Play app, the Play Parks app, one of those apps, and you go around. Once you do it, it apparently checks off the list. Then there's also an interactive element with the nighttime spectaculars, where instead of watching the massive fireworks in the sky, you can just look at your wrist the whole time because it lights up too. So, I mean, that's kind of silly. There's also an experience in the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge with Batuu bounty hunters. The regular starting price for this is $34.99. So, hi Nick. Hi Nick, welcome in. So Don says, I'm still deciding whether I need a Magic Band Plus. So I have decided whether or not I need a Magic Band Plus, and it is a definitive no, because I don't need the statue talking to me, to enjoy my visit. I don't need to stare at my wrist the whole time for $35 in order to enjoy the fireworks. I've heard, the fact that you have to charge it. I've heard that the batteries have not already not had a very good track record with keeping the charge and having it be a charge. I just don't think that that's something that I find will benefit me or that I find value in. I know people will, consider it and decide, maybe they want to try it out. Maybe it's worth trying out. $35, there's a lot of things you could get for $35 at Disney, as expensive as things are. At Disney, there's other, you get, a couple of pins if you're into the pins. There's, I would enjoy having more than the pins, and you don't have to charge them. You don't have to look at them during the nighttime spectacular. So anyway, the Magic Band Plus is, they're out. They're there. If you want it, more power to you. So the next item is at Hollywood Studios. Jessie's trading post has opened at the exit of Toy Story Mania. So the guests exiting Toy Story Mania will walk through an updated hallway to a mural of Jessie at the front of her shop. And the exit queue was reworked, shocker, so that guests must walk through the gift shop. So before, I think you had, have I been on that ride? I don't think I went on that ride. I went on that ride before Toy Story Land, but if I remember right, just from watching streams, I think there was an option. It sounds like from what that article said, that you had to go in, or you had an option before of bypassing the shop. So now they've reworked that so that you must go through the gift shop. I mean, which, they do all the time at Disney. So, but it looks fun. It's fun. Item 13 tonight. Very exciting. I know visitors to Magic Kingdom have for several years now been very, despondent about the absence of the Walt Disney World railroad at the Magic Kingdom. Of course, that closed not because there was necessarily anything wrong with the railroad. It closed because they're putting in Tron, and they're still doing that. There were several articles that I saw over the past few weeks about construction on Tron continuing. So I didn't really write down an item specifically, but I'll just mention that construction is continuing on Tron. Construction is continuing on the railroad. The tunnel that they have to put, they have to build so that the railroad can go through Tron. There was also consideration for the fact that the railroad is kind of Tron is like a futuristic type ride in Tomorrowland. And the railroad is, an old, I'm going to say old-fashioned, a turn of the century-ish kind of, old school type railroad. And so they had to kind of build a tunnel so that going through it wouldn't necessarily clash as much with the time period of that both of those attractions are representing, if you get my drift. So anyway, cast members are training for the Walt Disney World at Magic Kingdom. Carol says, yes, it looks promising for the railroad. You could say there is now a light at the end of the tunnel. Choo-choo! All aboard! So there's been no reopening dates announced yet. They did replace the tracks, and the Walter E. Disney engine was refurbished. And so I'm looking forward to that. It will be good once they get both those attractions, back, or the railroad comes back. When Tron opens, it'll be 2 attractions that'll help with the capacity, help to kind of give people something to do. But also Splash Mountain will be closing in the near future, whenever, or maybe not near future, but sometime, for its remodel. And so that'll be people that won't be on an attraction. So very exciting. Next item is at Epcot, is an item that I was very happy to see. I have mentioned to people, it's been a complaint of mine, that Disney needs to work on their benches and their shaded seating. So they have installed benches in the breezeway next to, this is at Epcot, by the way, in the breezeway next to the Creations shop and the Connections Cafe/Eatery. This was an article dated on the July the 22nd. There was also an article on June 8th that talked about tables and seating added to the breezeway. So they're going in that direction. Good job, Disney. But I did notice, Disney Springs, there's kind of a there is kind of a lack there. I saw some spots in Disney Springs where they could have they really should have a bench or two, and even have some more tables with covering. So that's this is great to see, great to hear about that they did this at Epcot, but they really do need to they still need to work on that. Nick is asking, what locations is the train supposed to go? You mean like the do you mean like the stations, Nick? Is I think it'll still be there's definitely still the Main Street station, and then I believe there's still Frontierland and not Fantasyland, Toontown, or not Toontown. Near there, hold on here. And Fantasyland, new Fantasyland by the Big Top, whatever they call that section. Oh, they don't say it on the map. Anyway, I think it's still those basic sections. It's gonna go through Tron. Oh, and they don't have it on this map yet. But I think it's gonna go through. I think it's basically. I don't think the track is dramatically changed, except where Tron is, but we'll still have to go through where Tron is, because they're having to build a tunnel, and so but the rest of the park is still the same train track. I hope that's kind of answering what you're wondering, Nick. So yeah, I don't think there's a dramatic change to the track, but there was a little bit of an alteration around Tron, because if they went around Tron completely, it would have, but that wouldn't have made sense. But anyway, they did. There was some kind of an adjustment, and they definitely had to build a tunnel to make it so they could go through at Tron. But I was saying before, they had to build an extra tunnel because Tron is a futuristic ride, and the you've got this old school steam engine going through there, and so they built the train so that when it's going through there, the train engine going through this Tron doesn't kind of clash with the time periods. And so anyway, it does. Okay, thank you. So anyway, my last news item tonight is the Merida meet and greet has returned to the Magic Kingdom. I've seen some pictures on this. Looks fun. And the times are listed in the My Disney Experience app. So that's a fun meet and greet that has returned. Something else returning, finally. So anyway, that is all the news items I have for tonight. Coming up here in about 15 minutes, the Hitchhiking Bones will be going live for Hitchhiker Chat. I think they're talking about, I saw the thumbnail, I promise I did. It had something to do with Halloween. We're in August. Like it or not, Disney's going to be bringing out Halloween and fall stuff before you know it. Personally, I do think it's too early. I would like it if they, waited until the beginning of September at least. But, it is what it is. But anyway, that's what the Hitchhiking Bones are going to be talking about. Halloween, no doubt. There will be some talk about what they've been up to this weekend, Tuesday week. So head over there in a few minutes. I will be live Thursday at 9 o'clock for Once Upon a Turkey Leg. And another announcement about this stream, Newsflash Disney. I was on a bi-weekly pattern because I was working on launching another show called Gobbletastically Yours that was theoretically I had planned to replace my podcast, The Dean Report, which I sunsetted a couple months ago, just so I could create exclusively here on YouTube. And so Gobbletastically Yours was going to be a replacement to that and just kind of come on once a month and talk about various topics, maybe Disney related, maybe not. Okay. Don says the Halloween party food offerings. So anyway, I've decided to scratch the idea of Gobbletastically Yours as a live stream. Gobbletastically Yours, though, is going, at least temporarily for a couple months, is going to just go on the back burner while I sort of, mull over what exactly that concept is, how often I do the video, will it be live, will it be a recorded video. So that said, Newsflash Disney will now be weekly. So every single Tuesday, come back here this same hour, 9 o'clock Eastern, and that'll allow me to kind of do more news stories involving the food offerings at Disney. I keep seeing news stories about the food at Disney. I've kind of snuck a couple in. I know, I think the last stream I talked about there was a new 50th anniversary, the walking taco at Disney. That was one of my food items, or one of the news items. But anyway, it'll be weekly. I'll be able to kind of talk about some of the food items coming out. I'm still not going to talk about the merch because they're just always releasing merch. So if you want to know about the merch, you need to go someplace else. But I will talk about the food. Definitely, I will start covering some food items. If there's food news at Disney, you will start to hear about it here, as well as some of the other park operations and the company happenings and all that. So weekly, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. will be Newsflash Disney, and Thursday, Once Upon a Turkey Leg, and both the streams are at 9 p.m. Newsflash Disney, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Thursdays, Once Upon a Turkey Leg at 9 p.m. Also, I set up a few months ago what I'm calling the Turkey Legster Hotline. It is a Google Voice number that I started, and I did a post on Instagram, but I'm going to start promoting it right here on YouTube. If you, for any reason, I don't know what demand it will be, but that is a number you can, I would prefer text, but you can call it. And I will I should be able to respond very quickly to that if you just want to, find out what I'm doing, find out, check in on me. If you want to know if the stream is going on tonight, and you don't want to rely on messaging through Instagram, which, I found has been, sometimes it goes down. You can't log in. We all know that. So that's why I set this up. So you can sort of, there's an option to keep in touch with me. And I'm going to do a post on Instagram tomorrow morning with that number. It's going to be in my stories, actually, so that way it won't be on. It won't be on just everywhere. So anyway, so yes, go over to the Hitchhiking Bones in a few minutes, about 10 minutes, and they're going to be talking about the Halloween Not So Scary Mickey's Not So Scary Party and the food yumminess. And I'll see you next Tuesday for more Disney news. I'll see you Thursday for stories. And with that, have a gobbletastic night. Take care. And I see you next time. So thank you for watching. Do, do, do.